This is why I can't sleep at night. Can you get off of me, please? Please. No, cat butt in the face. Cat butt in the face. Move. Help me. Good morning, everybody. Hey, everybody. I was just thinking about something. Have you ever had... Well, everybody, if you keep living your life, you'll always have this instinct. But I just wanted to know if this ever happened to anybody that watches my videos, where you have a family member that's really, really sick, and the doctors say it's not looking good at all, and you kind of start bargaining with God, and you kind of go throughout your week and your day, like saying, not yet, and bargaining and making deals with God. I kind of feel like I've been doing that, like, for a couple of weeks now. It's kind of, I know it's crazy, you can't bargain with God. But yeah, I don't know, that's just what was on my mind. I was like, am I the only one who does that? Like, kind of like says, hey, can you just give this person just a little bit longer, I feel like every time one of my family members gets sick and the doctors say it's not going to be good, I go through that. Every time I find out somebody has like cancer and it's terminal or something like that, I go through that, like, well, can you like do something like a miracle, and it'll show, it'll show everybody, how amazing you are if you do this miracle and heal this person. But it's not in God's plan, but you kind of bargain with him to change his plan. I feel like I go through that a lot. Didn't sleep good last night. And yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I also need to take the car in because it's making a weird sound, and I think we're supposed to have the oil change. It's like we've been getting emails from them saying that we missed a maintenance period, but the sticker for the oil change says either change it. Okay, the date for on the sticker is passed. Like, it was like 2 months ago, but it also said a certain amount of mileage on there, and we have not gotten to that mileage yet, but the car is making a whistling sound, so I feel like it should be taken in. So now I gotta call them and see if they'll take me, and I really don't want to go by myself because of the fact that I have to take the expressway, and I don't drive on the expressway. I've done it once before to take the car to get an oil change, but it's scary to me. I think it's passed down from my mom. She had a horrible accident before I was born on the expressway. So, I don't know, that fear got passed down, so I hate being on the expressway. It's just about going that fast, and I don't know. People are like bullies on the expressway and stuff. The last time, though, I did it, I was very proud of myself. I was like, I did it. I got there and I got back. And I was like, oh my goodness, I did it. I don't know why today I don't feel like doing it, but I have to because I want the car to break down. That's our only car. We're still paying for it. Because my other car broke down that was paid for. I missed that car. That was my baby. It's still in the backyard, but yeah. And if you're wondering why is your car in the backyard, because we have a 2-car garage, but my mom and my uncle own the house that we stay in. And my uncle, like right when we got married, my uncle collects cars. Right when we got married, one of his garages got a car hit it and like tore up his garage, so he had to take his cars out and have the garage rebuilt. And so he put his cars in our garage while he was having the garage rebuilt. But then when he had the garage rebuilt, he never came back to get his cars, and I heard that he has cars in it, so I think he might have added 2 more cars. So yeah, so he has cars in garages all over the city. And I don't want to be like, get your cars out of the garage so I can put my cars in the garage, because I don't own this house. He owns this house, and my mom owns this house. Hey, Bathsheba. Hi. Did you enjoy your breakfast? Do you love me? Can I get a slow blink? Okay, stand still and don't do nothing. Good kid. Let me see her. Ah, she meowed at me. She speaks. She speaks again. Okay, stop filming. Stop filming. Okay. Okay, so I'm back. I'm at my parents' house because I just was hanging out with them, helped them out with my nephew while my sister was working, and they picked me up because I got my oil changed and everything with the car, and minging. And they picked me up when I was waiting on my car, so I just followed them back to the house. They brought me dinner, so yay, parents. And they also paid for my brakes because when John picked me up on Sunday from work, the car was making this whistling sound, and he didn't quite hear it, but I heard it. And I was like, something's not right with that. And then it got louder and louder and louder. So I told him about it when I was getting the oil change, because normally they have this thing where they inspect the car for free when they do oil change. And also there had been a recall on my particular Kia. So they fixed the stuff from the recall, and then they said that my brake pads were worn all the way completely down, and that's what the squeaking is. It's them like rubbing up on the metal. I forgot exactly what they called it. So I had this situation where I had a decision to make, and I think I made the right one. I don't know. So they said it was going to be $279 for them to fix my brakes, and I asked how long can I drive on them without getting them fixed, and they said Friday. And I was like, really? You sure? And they was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I really don't have that amount of money because I have another bill coming out like tomorrow, and I'm just going to be overdrawn if I do that. I just basically only plan to pay for the oil change and the inspection and everything like that. So I told the mechanic I don't have that amount of money. Like, do you think I can go a couple more weeks without getting my brakes fixed? And he's like, come over here, come over here, come over here to the corner. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm gonna help you out. And I was like, okay. He was like, this is what you do. Here's my number on this card. You come to my house and I'll do your brakes with my guy over there. We gonna do your brakes at my house for $65. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, all you gotta do is buy your brake pads yourself, and they should probably like cost no more than $65, and then we'll put them on for $65 at my house, and you can just chill at my house, and we'll do it at my house. And I was like, Now one half I was like, because I'm poor. The other half I was like, I don't know you, I don't know where you live, I don't know if they'll work or not. Like, one of the main things I was thinking about, like, if I get it done at the dealership and the brakes go out, then I can take it back. If I'm alive, I can take it back. And there's nothing laughing matter, but yeah, I can take it back and be like, hey, my brakes are still messed up, fix this for free. You owe me this for free because you said you fixed them and they're still like messed up. If I take it to this guy's house and have him do it, then I could just be out of luck if he didn't do it right, or if he just messed everything up. I'm just out of luck and out of money. So I was thinking about putting it on my credit card, which is the bill that's actually about to come out, which I hate putting things on my credit card, but I was going to put it on my credit. I'm back. My sister called real quick. We're still discussing the puppy share. So anyway, I thought about putting it on my credit card because I do that with emergencies when things come up. But I don't like doing that because it's basically making my credit card bill ridiculous. And my, basically my interest rate is like not great. So, but I've had that credit card all my life. But my parents, when they pulled up to come pick me up while the car was being fixed on, they said that because I was thinking about basically letting the guy do it at his house. John was at work and I text him, and normally he gets right back to me, but he didn't. He didn't get back to me until a couple of hours later. So I was thinking, okay, I got to make this decision on my own. Do I let them fix the brakes, or do I go to this dude's house that I don't know and end up murdered and on the news, or just end up with terrible breaks, I don't know, and let him do it. And I was telling my parents about it on the phone, and they were basically like, nah, we'll pay for it. They were just like, no, you have the dealership do it and we'll pay for it. And I was like, are y'all sure? And he was like, yeah. And I was thinking, well, maybe I could put it on my credit card and then pay it off when I get paid in the next 2 days. They was like, no, we'll just pay for it. Don't put it on your credit card because that's just going to make things worse. And so my parents swooped in and saved the day. But if they weren't around to save the day, I don't know what I would have decided to do. I feel like I would have either ended up letting the guy fix it or putting on my credit card. I don't know. It was kind of leaning one of those ways. So thank God for parents. So I just wish sometimes though that I had more money to do more, because I don't like leaning on my parents and relying on them for things financially whenever like emergencies come up. I don't like that. I just wish I could be able to take care of them right now, and this is kind of basically is not how I planned my life. Like when I was a kid, there's a light in my eyes. When I was a kid, I guess, everybody had plans and dreams as a kid, and nobody's life turned out how they thought it would. Or maybe there's probably people that lives turn out how they thought it would, but not everybody's. And so I just always just saw my life being able to be more financially secure and be able to help out my parents more. And so whenever situations like this come up where they have to help me out, it really pains me, and really, I just feel like a failure a little bit. I don't know. And it's like, I don't even know if I finish college, would I still even be able to, afford things. Like my sister has a master's degree and she still has to ask them for money too. I feel like, and I was going to school for music and for classical voice, and like, let's be honest, like how many, like other than like Leontine Price and Kathleen Battle, and there's a couple more I can name, but most people don't know them when I bring them up, which is really upsetting. But how many black opera singers do you know that's super duper famous that you know of today? Like not in the past, like right now. Not many. And I hate it when I go to like, the opera house and see stuff and I see like that little black dot in the chorus, and I especially when I was in school for that, I was like, there's my future, and the girl swaying in the background singing the harmonies. Hope she gets paid good. But then I found out she didn't, because she actually ended up becoming one of my vocal coaches before I went to college, and she's working like 5 jobs. So yeah, that future looked a little bleak. And I didn't want to be like just every other black that sings R&B. Hold on a second. Okay, now I'm back. I'm back home from my parents' house. I chilled with them for a long time. I hung out with my nephew, and then my sister and my nephew left, and then I just hung out with my mom talking. I need to redo my hair. Yeah, I just hung out with my mom and dad talking about life and stuff, and talking about stuff. We were reading my cousin Brianna's Facebook status, and it didn't occur to us that it's been 3 years since her mother passed away. Fashiba, I'm talking. But yeah, we were talking about that and how it doesn't feel like 3 years, and I guess because it still feels fresh. And just basically, like earlier today, I was talking about what's going on with my other cousin. And I have 2 other cousins that have cancer right now. One that has breast cancer, inflammatory breast cancer. And I hate cancer. I know earlier I was talking about everything going on with my car and not being able to pay for things for my parents. But before that, I was talking about cancer and making bargains with God and stuff like that. Making deals. I don't know. I remember when Martha was sick. I remember I had this routine of praying for her. That was the first thing I did every morning, was praying for her and begging God to like give her the strength to keep fighting and give her the strength to like make it one more day. And then it kind of got to the point where she just was so sick that I felt selfish for praying that. And I just felt like I need to just, put it in his hands and let it go and just pray that, your will be done. Even though I really just wanted his will to be miraculously to heal my cousin. And she be there to see her oldest daughter graduate from high school and be there for her other kids and, their different achievements in life. I just wanted her to be there to watch her kids grow up. And I felt selfish because she was in a lot of pain. But I just really wanted her here. I still want her here. And so, yeah, cancer is like everywhere all the time, seems like. My mother has had it like 3 times. I have a cousin now that has inflammatory breast cancer. I have another relative that has cancer, and they talked about it at church and said it's not good. Things aren't good, but she's putting it in God's hands. I don't really know what that means, and I'm afraid to ask. My other cousin that's in the hospital right now, I'm worried about her, and I basically find myself getting into that habit like I did when my other cousin had died, where I wake up every morning, the first thing I do is pray for her and pray for strength and everything. But yeah, cancer really sucks. It's not even like sucks, it's just like, I feel like I have a lot of friends that are atheists, and whenever religion does get brought up, they always bring up the fact that, well, if there's a God, why would he let there be cancer and let people suffer so much with cancer? Or like even with children, like why would God take a little bitty child and put them through that and all the horrors of cancer? And I really don't have an answer for that. I believe there's a God, but I don't have an answer for that, and it troubles me that happens. Like at one point in my life, like it seemed like everybody had cancer. Like my friend had cancer and she died, and I had another friend in church too that had cancer. She died. My mother was like on her 3rd round of being diagnosed with cancer. My cousin had cancer that also has died, and then my pastor got cancer and he almost died. And so I was at this point where it's like it was always around me, like, and I feel like it's still like forever always around me. And I'm not God, so I don't have the answers for why he allows cancer to happen to especially his people, his children. I don't have any answers for that, but I still know that I believe in him. But I can understand a little bit sometimes why people say that, because they're frustrated with God, like, you can't watch somebody go through that and not, be tested. So, I don't know. It's just, I feel like so much is always going on in life. I knew as a kid, I always say this to my sister and my husband. When I was a little kid, people used to say I was like wise beyond my years because I knew stuff that, like, I remember knowing things without people telling me, and I was always able to like look at a situation and like basically do the math in my head of all the possible outcomes of a situation, and look at something and go, nope, don't trust that. I've always been able to do that as a kid. And so I remember being a kid, watching my parents and going, being an adult is extremely hard. There's sickness, there's money problems, there's all sorts of things coming at you every which way. And I'm cool with just playing with my dolls and being the kid. I don't want to grow up anytime soon. Anytime any of my friends like, I can't wait till I grow up, I was like, no, you don't want to be an adult. No. I always was just like, no, I'm good. I'm right here. Because I knew since I turned 18, it's going to get hard, and it's just going to keep getting harder and harder and harder until the day you die. And those are some of the things, like today, two of the things that happen that just makes me feel like being an adult is hard. That the things that you are aware of being an adult, that like my nephew and niece aren't aware of stuff like that. When you're an adult, you're aware of financial problems and trying to make ends meet, and you're aware of sickness and stuff like that. Like, I feel like I explained sickness and death to my niece and nephew a lot, but I still feel like they don't quite get it. Only time I ever feel like my niece got it was when I took her to a funeral of a lady at church that I was really close to, and she used to help a lot with the dance ministry. And I told her she had to be really good and really quiet. And I think my sister had always tried to keep her from seeing people in the casket because she thought it would be too traumatic. And I didn't think it would be too traumatic because I remember my Uncle Joe, when he died, I remember seeing him in a casket when I was like 5. And I remember like vividly, clearly, like seeing my Uncle Robert and my Uncle Raymond. And I was a young kid, but I remember that. But I remember I felt like I needed that to have closure, to know that they're gone. And so my sister kind of like just tried to shelter my sister from that, but my niece from that, I mean. But she, with this funeral, she brought her, and seeing the lady in the casket, my niece, like her whole facial expression changed and her whole mannerism changed. She just sat there with her hands in her lap staring at the casket with like her mouth a little bit agaped and everything. So I feel like she kind of understood, but I feel like my nephew, he's just in that magical realm where he just don't know about any hardships whatsoever. I think my niece knows a little bit more now, because like she told me to stop buying her stuff at one of my jobs that has kids' toys, because she was like, I have too many toys and you need to save your money. And I was like, a 5-year-old just told me to save my money. Okay. I was very shocked by that. I was like, what adult told you to say that? But she's like, I thought it up in my head. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna stop buying you toys, but if you need something, if you really, really want something, let me know and I'll get it. And she's like, okay. So I feel like she's growing up more and understanding a little bit more. But my nephew's in that magical realm where, you can't be touched by anything. Like, you're not aware of sickness, and you're not aware of poverty and all that stuff. Like, my niece, she asks us questions now about when we see someone homeless on the street and stuff like that. And she wants to, like, give people money and stuff and food and stuff. So I feel like she's starting to become aware. But, I don't know, I just remember when I was a kid, I was just always aware of that stuff. I don't know, I was just always conscious. And it's weird because now that I'm getting older, I feel like I'm not as conscious of stuff, and I have to like work harder to become more conscious of things around me. Like, I have to try more to be more in tune with people's body language and the words that come out of their mouth and how they treat me and how they treat others, or if like they're feeling bad or having a bad time about it but not telling me, but I can sense it in their body language. So when I was a kid, I used to could walk up, and I'm gonna try to cut this short. When I was a kid, I used to could feel how people felt just by being near them. And I know that's weird. And as an adult, I still can a little bit, but my husband thinks it's just weird. He thinks he just basically says not accurate whenever I tell him that. Like, I remember one time we had some friends, they were dating, and they had broken up, and it was a really bad breakup. And I remember when they got back together, they was keeping it a secret, and I could just tell. I never saw them together because they were trying to keep it a secret. But I don't know why, whenever I talked to one or the other, I could feel that they were back together with the other person, but it still wasn't working out. I could feel it, and so I kept asking my husband, is so-and-so back together? He was like, no, what are you talking about? I was like, I have a feeling they're back together. He's like, how? It's like, I just feel it. And he was just like, you can't just feel stuff. And I was like, I could just feel it in their body language or something. I could just feel that something like that's going on. And he'd be like, you can't feel stuff like that. And sure enough, they were actually back together. And then when they broke up, they let us know. And I was like, I knew it. It's like stuff like that. I could feel stuff with people, but as I get older, it goes away. a lot more. And I feel like I'm not aware of things. Like, I'll be at work and I'll like just not pick up on things, and then everybody at work acts like I'm like the dumbest person in the world, and it makes my self-esteem so low, because I'll just like completely miss something or completely forget about something. Like, I used to have the best memory in the world, and I feel like my memory is going too. Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know, maybe it's the, trials of being an adult. But yeah, I'm going to cut this video now. Sorry, today was a boring day. I, was off today, but, I had to deal with stuff with the car, and I had to babysit my nephew, and I'm not going to put him on camera because there's creepers out there. So I just talked today. And I got to go make my husband some dinner before he gets off work. So, thanks for watching.